Our weather has been awfully darn good for most of the fall. It kind of feels like fall now. A cold and rainy night to wrap up the regular season as Marian and St. Francis. Both teams know they are on to the Crossroads League Conference Tournament. Frankly, the outlook a little brighter for St. Francis, who, yes, is under 500 in the season, but when you get to league play only, they're the surprise number 3 team. In fact, it is possible these two teams play each other in Fort Wayne 6 days from now. Greg Rakestraw, Brant McCoskey with you here on the ISC Sports Network. And, you know, it's been kind of a strange season for James Jenkins and company. And you just pointed this out. They've got a plus 13 goal differential for the course of the season. They're 3-3-2 in conference play, 5-4 overall. They're literally the top team receiving votes, just outside the top 25. So they're thought to be one of the better programs in the NAIA. But right now, kind of their postseason path, Brands, is a bit precarious because it's been kind of stuck in neutral these last few weeks.
Yeah, and really, they're such an exciting team to watch. They know how to put the ball in the back of the net. Unfortunately, defensively, they've had moments of struggle, and they haven't been able to get the W's that they've needed to stay up higher in those ranks. And really, it's unfortunate because the talent that this Marian team has, St. Francis, really just such a strong side as well, who can also bump up going into the conference tournament as well, like we talked about before the match, Rake.
What's unique is that, again, the overall record is under 500 for St. Francis. Mm-hmm. They have a little more pressure to be successful in the conference tournament because of their struggles in non-conference play. Marian has some really good wins, and frankly, their best win is a league win against Bethel, who is ranked number 4 in the national polls this week. Bethel is one of the teams that has beaten St. Francis. So, again, big picture postseason, it's probably a little brighter for the team wearing the all-white kits tonight. When it comes to conference play, again, Bethel has simply caught fire at the absolute right time.
Yeah, and really biggest thing for St. Francis tonight is, one, come out of here with a big road win, right? Yes, Marian is the lesser squad in conference play right now, but overall they are the better team, I believe. And really, if St. Francis can come out of here with a W, it's going to look really, really good on that resume.
Kevin Wochio-Neely, as you see him kind of bouncing us to the edge of your shot, he is the starting netminder. He is a junior from Sweden. These are two very international teams we'll talk about through the course of the evening. 65 saves. Again, the win-loss record impresses you for St. Francis. The overall numbers don't necessarily wow you. Their leading goal scorer on the season has 5 in terms of total goals. That is Henrik Bunshu, who is a junior from Germany. Very heavy German influence on this St. Francis squad. Numbers pop out a little bit more for the Marian Knights. They've got a pair of 10 goal scorers. Gustavo Nunez, 10 goals and 5 assists. Sam Vihaus, 10 goals and an assist this year. He, too, a native of Germany.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, they've been a 1-2 punch up top for the Marian Knights. Now, Sam Vihaus not getting the start tonight for the Marian Knights, which is unexpected, really. So to have Gustavo Nunez, he's going to have to step it up tonight. Zambrano getting the start instead of Sam Vihaus.
The other note for Marian is the fact they have kind of split their goalkeeping duties this year. Ricardo Marquez, seeing the all-orange kid on your screen, 6 matches played, 4 starts, 2 goals allowed and 22 saves. He and Mateo Garcia Galan have kind of bounced back and forth between the posts for head coach James Jenkins.
And both keepers have done a fantastic job all season long. Yes, they've bounced back and forth, but really both have stepped up when the other one was a little shaky, needed a little sub here and there, but really both keepers have done a fantastic job this season.
As far as the math is concerned as to where these teams could end up next Tuesday, Marian can do no worse than the 6. They also can do no better than the 5. And given who the Spring Arbor team is playing in the 5 spot, likely the 6 seed is where Marian could be. St. Francis can be caught by 2 teams behind them. They can get as high as the number 2 seed. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back and kick this one off from St. Vincent Field as you're watching Marian Soccer on ISC.
Hey, grab me one too.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
Merchants Bank is a unique bank. As rates move up and down, our rates are always at the top.
Great, great. Let's go.
Our team has a proven track record as one of the nation's top performing banks.
Now, that's a top performer.
What you see is what you get. A 4.00 APY money market without gimmicks or hidden fees.
Let's leapfrog him. Hop to it. Merchants Bank, where your money is safe, secure, and earning more. Hop on over.
Moments away from kicking this one off. Again, the conference tournament slightly different than it has been in years gone by. They have gone to the basketball model of offsetting the days. So the men's conference tournament will be Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday. And again, top 4 seeds host round 1, then we'll kind of bracket it out from there. On the women's side, of which Marian knows regardless of what happens at St. Francis tonight, they're the number 1 seed because of their victory against Indiana Wesleyan on Saturday. The Marian women will host November 5th, November 8th, and November the 12th, assuming they win those first 2 matches to get to that championship match. Because of the parity in this league, Marian still thinks, hey, there's a shot for us to host once we get past the opening round of the semis or the final. A reminder, last year it was the 4 and 6 seeds, and Marian was one of those 2 teams that squared off against each other in the conference championship game. Like on the men's side, anything is possible. By the way, for what it's worth, Bethel and Indiana Wesleyan, they are the 1 and 2 teams in the league, and their rotation to face each other is tonight. That game also kicked off an hour earlier. Scoreless through 45. If that is a draw, Bethel is your league champion, and they will host all 3 rounds of the league tournament. So it is the all-black kits with the white numerals and lettering for St. Francis. Leo Telpanoff lays us back to a teammate, and we are underway in a rain, chilly evening. Not much in the way of wind. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s, which, frankly, for the end of October, early November, is what you expect. It is a sign that the postseason is upon us. Thanks for joining us this evening here on ISC.
Pristine soccer weather.
Early throw here for St. Francis, and already trying to load players into the box and get an early goal. Cleared by the Marian Knights, and back to midfield for St. Francis to reorganize. Marian was in action on Saturday against Indiana Wesleyan. Last time these 2 teams played was last year during the regular season. Marian picked up a 3-2 win. Over the last 20 meetings between the 2 teams, Marian has picked up 12 wins, lost 7 and drawn just once. In fact, the last 4 times they have played have all been Marian W's. Here's Ricardo Marquez. Ricardo, a redshirt freshman from Venezuela. Like we said, it's very much the world's game with these 2 teams playing each other tonight. Ricardo, a transfer from William Carey elsewhere in the NAIA ranks. Beautiful back heel here by the Cougars of St. Francis.
Yeah, great back heel. But really, so far, it's been the Marian defense that has been very, very strong.
Left-footed shot that did not threaten the target. And that's one of the many German players on this St. Francis squad. Paul Scheifele, sophomore.
And Rick, you and I have talked time and time again about how international college soccer has become here in the United States and how great it is for the game here in the United States. It brings so much entertainment here to the game, and it's so much fun to watch these international players compete with these other American players as well.
Put in perspective, St. Francis has 2 Indiana natives on the roster, and that would be the entirety of the domestic product on the team. Everybody else on an international basis. 2.5 minutes in, first sort of quasi spell of possession here for the Marian Knights.
Great ball.
Just sliding through. Foslin Grant. Grant 2 goals in limited time on the season. Second year in the program, that opportunity. On the cross, sails wide. You see the thumbs up for the look there that did not find the back of the net. We'll take a second look.
Yeah, it was a good ball in by Foslin Grant. Gustavo Nunez just could not get there on that back post. Gave Foslin the thumbs up at the end there. It was a good run in, good bending ball into the box by Foslin Grant. Unfortunate for Marian, couldn't capitalize.
Nunez, a junior from Brazil. That will be, the timing of the tackle was right. Just a throw in coming here. And part of the kind of recruiting secret sauce for head coach James Jenkins has been going the international route, but getting guys that have already acclimated to the States. A lot of players that either are transfers from other small colleges or really mining talent from the junior college ranks to come to Marian. High line being played, and Marquez quickly ambles over to track this down. Frankly, Marian hasn't had the ball in a position where St. Francis can go out and pressure them just yet. Electing not to do so here. Now they start to pick up the pace, and immediately Marian goes the more direct route. Yohei Kuroda manning the left wing. His parents have made the trip here for what is senior night. Native of Japan, again played 2 years of community college soccer at Parkland College over in Illinois. And again, given the seeding, it is possible Marian would get a conference tournament game here, but not guaranteed. I think it's still possible they could get a regional site, frankly, here too. But just in case, all seniors were honored here on this regular season finale tonight.
Well, and that's why this game is so important for Marian, not only to get some momentum going into the Crossroads League tournament, but really to win it for the seniors. It's senior night. It's your final regular season home game here at Ascension St. Vincent Field. Go out with a win.
Opportunity here down the left side. Ball played across, looking back post. Couldn't get the proper foot to it. Second kind of threatening moment for Marian, and now St. Francis looking to launch the counter. Take here. Space being given towards that corner flag. Cutting it back was Shifley in the middle of the field, but nothing doing. Quickly settled though by a teammate for St. Francis. Toya Oda was the player that was the next to touch it for St. Francis. Junior from Japan. Marian now trying to flip the field of play and let it go backwards for a spell of possession. Brandon, I know you got some keys to the game. What are you focusing on for each of these two teams?
Yeah, catching up with Coach James Jenkins from Marian, he said we really need a quality final ball in the box, whether it's a pass or especially a cross into the box. We must provide quality on the final pass to execute in the final third. We just saw a beautiful ball into the box, just unfortunately couldn't get one on. And then the second one was come out with energy and intensity in minute one and make it difficult for St. Francis to play. And then keep possession of the ball and pass the ball like we know we can. And really good possession so far here from Marian as we see a beautiful pass down the side.
Kuroda with space. Kuroda leaves it for a teammate. Smash it home. That's how it's done for the Marian Knights. Gustavo Nunez gets his 11th goal of the season. I'd say the Knights are off to a good start. A 0-0, 6.5 minutes in.
And Greg, we've talked time and time again this season how quickly Marian can attack. Just like that on the counterattack, a beautiful ball down the sideline. Takes a couple touches, does a beautiful job. Looks like he's gonna shoot. Nunez comes through the middle and just buries it into the back of the net. Great start for the Marian Knights.
Yeah, it was Waymeyer, the center back, who ended up keeping Kuroda onside. And once that ball got to Kuroda on the front foot, there was frankly little that St. Francis was going to slow it down. So again, that's part of what has where Marian's at in terms of the league table all the more frustrating. You see how quickly they can kind of turn it on What it also does, though, is it also shows you, and we say this about virtually every sport in the league, you know, this is a great league, and
Yes.
men's soccer had somewhat lagged behind. That is not the case now. Opportunity here. Flag stays down. Player goes down to the box. Not enough, says our center, and we play on.
And I think that's a right call by the referee. Really nothing doing there. Just two players going at it. Good no call. Play on.
Wesley Cash and Jay was there to sweep that ball away for St. Francis. We have a handful of players from Zimbabwe on this St. Francis roster.
And Greg, we've talked about how recruiting for James Jenkins, you know, international, but likes to say with international players that have acclimated themselves here in the States, but really just another massive selling point for this league, this Marian Knights program as well, is just how competitive this Marian Knights team has been over the last few years with James Jenkins at the helm. And you see it time and time again. Every time they take the pitch, they're scoring goals, they're making it entertaining. Any recruit that could come to Marian or St. Francis as well, great programs.
Bethel number 4 in the country this week in the NAI polls. Indiana Wesleyan up to number 8. Grace checks in at number 20. Again, Marian, if you just kept counting, number 26. Spring Arbor amongst those receiving votes as well. So 5 of the top 6 teams in the standings. And that doesn't always translate over into who's going to make the postseason tournament. 40 teams will make the postseason in NAI men's soccer. And Marian knows, because of kind of some missed opportunities in league play, that they have a little more work to do to go back to the national for the second consecutive year. Marian made it last year, played at Oklahoma. Opportunity here. Good job to head that one down to Ricardo Marquez.
A win here tonight, Rake, would look fantastic on the Marian
Yes,
Knights
it
resume.
would. Again, to get a home regional here on the 20th and 22nd, you'd probably need to win this game and you're 3 in the conference tournament.
Right.
But you can probably win a couple more. And now you're looking at just ensuring your postseason berth and playing for a championship. Nothing really of the threatening variety just yet for the Cougars of St. Francis. Knights with 4 at the back. 4-3-3, really the alignment for Coach Jenkins' squad, at least from a defensive shape standpoint. Sebastian Gonzalez playing at the back. Good turn in midfield by the Cougars.
And again, this is what I'm talking about, the closing speed of the Marian defense. As soon as St. Francis is playing a ball in, the defenders of Marian are right there to close them down.
Leander Wunder sent that in for St. Francis, freshman from Munich. On the hold up and asking for contact, and frankly, you're not going to get that there at the edge of the 18. What we have seen from St. Francis is they have thrown enough numbers forward. They have left themselves open at the back. Frankly, that was an opportunity that Marian let them off the hook. That ball, if that ball is played flat to the side, Marian's got an opportunity.
Well, and that's the thing, Greg, is that one of the keys to victory that I had for St. Francis was they have to slow Marian down. We have seen time and time again this season how good Marian is on the counterattack and in transition. And really, St. Francis is really flirting with disaster if a couple balls get through.
Just couldn't find a teammate. Good that ball from Marian. And all the way back. O'Neill's back to track it down. Again, you can see the rain is coming down. If you went about 20 miles north of here, you would not be dealing with rain. We are on the very edge of kind of rain that is projected for the Midwest, and it will last throughout the entirety of the match. So it seems a fitting time to bring up, when it rains, it pours. So trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call. Special thanks, AAA Roofing, for their support of Marian Athletics. terms of other matches tonight, Grayson Taylor in action, Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington, Spring Arbor, and Goshen. Keep you updated as developments warrant. Goshen knows they have been eliminated from the postseason. This is their last match. Taylor, Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington are all playing for the last 2 spots in the conference tournament. Ball finds Kuroda. Like
great
the combination
flick.
here. Opportunity. Slid through perfectly. Can he round the keeper? Well, he could, but the offside flag is up. That was pretty tight.
Very impressive ball movement there by Marian. Just unfortunate on the timing of the run. Good job by the final defender catching Marian offside.
When given the opportunity, we will take a look at that. He was off. It wasn't by much.
It was not by much, Greg.
But again, when you play on the football lines, is opportunity here. We'll finish that thought in a matter of moments. Combination is there again. Have a hit. Have a goal. Well, Marian didn't dwell on the potential offside call. This went and found their second goal. Knights off on a flyer. They have scored twice in the first 13 minutes and 1 second. Take a 2-0 lead.
Marian said, offside call? What offside call? We're going to steal it back right here in our attacking third, and we're just going to give it to Gustavo Nunez, and he's going to rip it from outside the 18. A beautiful shot, beautiful finish. Marian taking care of business early.
Did not take Nunez long to get his brace. Make it 2-0, and it's almost a bit of a discombobulated St. Francis side right now. It's a St. Francis squad that has won 4 of their last 5. And after going just 2-6-1 in non-conference play, they have won 5 and drawn 1 in league action. But frankly, the way this matchup looks here in the early going, kind of feels maybe what we thought this matchup would be when these teams are heading into conference play.
Right, absolutely.
That was the fact that, thought that Marian could be up with the true elite teams in the league. And I think clearly when they're at their best, they can be that. Trying to make the turn. Great job by Grant to dig in. Wonderful find to switch sides of the attack. Again, flip the side again. Again, Kuroda is onside. Bending the ball back post. Calm and calculated clearance there by St. Francis.
And Greg, going back to Marian's 2 losses that they've had, back-to-back coming into this match against St. Francis, I asked Coach Jenkins what his takeaways were from those losses, and he said, I'm proud of the way we've played. It's unfortunate that we just haven't been able to get the results that we've wanted and needed. The team is playing great soccer. They're playing confident soccer. It's just the chips have not fallen our way, unfortunately. And we are seeing tonight they're playing confident. They're playing strategic. And just really just great soccer so far here to start this match. Very competitive.
Well, Marian had scored just twice in pulling 4 points out of a possible 15 in their last 5 matches. That hit audacious. Just rose a little bit as it got inside of the 6-yard box. Substitution already standing by for St. Francis. Unax Mendia will come on, a sophomore from Spain. So an early substitution here for St. Francis, 15 minutes in. Now again, in fairness, of those last 5 matches for Marian, 3 of those have been against teams that are nationally ranked, and the other one is Spring Arbor, the squad that we mentioned is also receiving votes like Marian, and a team that beat Marian 11 days ago, 2-1 up in Michigan.
And going back to that last hit from St. Francis, it speaks volumes to the Marian defense, that defensive line that St. Francis is having to take shots from that far out.
Mendia quickly with the dispossession in midfield. Good overlapping run here by the Cougars. Not exactly cleared away, left-footed. Liked the idea to strike quickly, but just couldn't keep it on target. Good Scheifele. Marquez says, you know what? Tonight is not the night to build from the back. With the rain coming down and the 2-goal advantage early. Nunez on the hustle bus trying to get there, but could not track it down. Throw in coming here for St. Francis, rather. And Marian knows they will be on the road, and again, the likely scenario, even with a win here, you'd assume that St. Francis would, or excuse me, that Spring Arbor rather would take care of business against the last place team in the league in Goshen. And again, it is, especially with this result, if it's a Marian win, and clearly we got 73 minutes left to go in this match.
Right.
But a Marian win makes it more likely that it would be Marian and St. Francis playing again in 6 days.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Cougars could be caught from behind in terms of the league standings, which is why we will keep a keen eye on the scoreboard for the entirety of the night. Trying to figure out how you make the throw from the long jump pit. What Cash and Jay is looking to do. Good flick on by St. Francis, but headed down, and Marquez can just kind of stroll over and make that play. And again, because you've often seen kind of two centers left at the back, and the wings have really gotten forward for St. Francis, you're going to see Marian keep playing long balls in that scenario.
Yeah, Marquez is saying, hey, I'm going to punt this ball forward. I'm going to let my guys run onto it and create something at the front.
Good step there by Marian, but St. Francis able to recover. And they will play a little bit further back to give themselves a spell of possession. I want to thank our friends at BSN. BSN is the preferred provider of apparel for Marian University athletics. Marian has had the answer for hold-up play at the other end of the field so far. Nunez came back from an offside position, so flag goes up. Second time the offside flag waved against Marian. Last time it led to a goal for Marian almost immediately.
Yeah, they said, I see your offside call. I raise you a goal. How's that sound?
Nicholas Balbine was hovering around the midfield for St. Francis. Again, great read. Marian just clicked in tonight. Flat foul is going to be called. Nunez, the guilty party, as the rain continues.
And already so far, Nunez has just been an absolute menace for that St. Francis back line. As what you expect when he now has 12 goals on the regular season.
I want to thank our outstanding ISC Sports Network crew. We got a great one tonight. Kyle Donlin on replay. Jason Porter, Aaron Van Wolde, and Jason Thompson all on the cameras this evening. Thank you, gentlemen, for spending a rainy Wednesday night with us. Kuroda. Passing's been pretty precise here in these wet conditions for Marian so far. Right idea on the touch, able to keep it in, and able to play it off a defender. That is exceedingly well done. And that is also Kuroda, who flipped sides of the field to make that play.
Yeah, and really, Greg, with this wet turf, it helps that it's Marian's home turf. They know how to play the ball on a wet field. They know how to read those passes when they're coming through as a handball. Yep, caught the elbow there. Going St. Francis's way, but really when the pitch is wet like this, it's going to skip quite a bit. But when you've played on this pitch enough in wet conditions, you know how to read it a little bit better than St. Francis can.
St. Francis, though, often plays at Bishop Darcy Stadium, so
yep.
they would replicate this as best as anybody in the league. Again, great hustle to get around the defender and Marcelo Serna. Couple of step overs, unleashing across, and if that got past the center back, that was 3.
That was Nunez's third right there, had that gotten through.
Marian defenders keeping a high line, guys in the midfield doing their job. In perfectly timed ball, but not a perfectly timed run. And Nunez, not sure if he got clipped by the keeper here in this scenario, or
yeah, Nunez took a shot there at the end.
Yes, he did.
Nunez
was well off his line trying to prevent that opportunity.
Yeah, and both playing through the whistle. Took a hit.
Hit from distance, and St. Francis has not been shy about letting it go from deep. They have, frankly, not had much in the way of possession around the 18, in part because Marian's been that good, but also in part because when they've seen the first bit of daylight, they've gone for it.
They've taken it, absolutely. But like I said earlier, that just speaks volumes for what this defensive back line for Marian has done. Great ball across, great switch.
Kuroda, again, has 3 options in front. Right find, wrong turn by Marian. But good hustle to keep it in play. Now Marian will elect to play it from the back. That was Josh Wessling playing the left back role. Josh, the local product from Cathedral High School, wearing the captain's armband tonight. Again, great speed on display. Marian got ahead of that first. That player had stepped in front of the keeper. St. Francis about to get a second sub ready. Already made a relatively early substitution. 15 minutes into the half, and they're going to try to mix things up again. Bjorn de Gries will be coming on here for St. Francis. Bjorn, a freshman from the Netherlands. Again, flag stays down, keeper comes out. Foul going to be called. Keeper's a bit less of a protected species outside of the 18, but Nunez did make contact with the boot.
Yeah, and good job by the keeper, just showing confidence, coming out way off of his line. He wants Nunez nowhere near his goal.
Justin Kopp will be coming on for Marian, given the opportunity. Like Donovan Doolittle will be joining him as well. Justin, one of the players that was honored before the game on senior night. Unique story, Justin came to Marian, then left to go play at LSU Alexandria, and then has returned to finish at Marian. So first pair of subs here coming on for Marian, 24 minutes in. The aforementioned sub, and Bjorn de Gries also entering for St. Francis. Wunder will exit for the Cougars. Marian has been pretty masterful in the midfield. That was an obvious jersey tug. The St. Francis player knew that he was beaten there.
And what's so great about this Marian defensive back line and their midfield, as well as it is creating so many opportunities for their attackers up front, because the St. Francis defenders in their midfield as well, they're just chasing. They're chasing the ball at this point, trying to create something of their own, and really it's leaving the attackers of Marian pretty open. So great work here by the Marian midfield.
Outstanding again to find a teammate. This one just a bit too strong, but will be a throw coming here for St. Francis. I want to thank our friends at Hoagies and Hops, not just a wonderful partner to Marian University, but also to us in the ISC Sports Network. They've been serving Pennsylvania-style Hoagies and Hops since 2015. You know, I've got this whole read in front of me. How about I just tell you? I had a great beer doing Query and Schultz yesterday on a Tuesday morning because That's how television works. They fed us cheese conies. There was a sandwich at Dr. Shane Steichen. It was amazing. A friend of mine was going to the Butler-Taylor women's basketball exhibition game, and he asked me, where am I going for dinner? I said, you're going to Hoagies and Hops. And he loved it. Now back to the read. If you're a Marian student or ticket holder, 15% discount by showing your Marian ID card or your ticket stub. HoagiesandHops.com always has more.
And I had the Philly cheesesteak yesterday.
Yeah, which,
Fantastic.
you really went out on a limb. Going to a Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania-style hoagie shop and getting a cheesesteak. You really took some chances.
Hey, you know what? It was fantastic. It was delicious. Every week that we're there, Greg, just amazing.
I celebrate the entire catalog, Brian. I tried to order around on the menu.
I had the brotherly love last week.
Next bad sandwich, I'll have at Hoagies and Hops will be the first. I'm not going to have a bad sandwich ever.
Ever.
At Hoagies and Hops.
Ever.
Again, not far from the Marian campus. Good job to nudge that one forward, Kuroda.
Oh, wow.
Kept it in play, too. Yeah. Kuroda's playing at a different speed, both mentally and physically, than virtually everybody else on the park tonight. Opportunity here. Knights made the wrong read. Flag stays down. Left-footed shot was blocked, but it will be the first corner of the match for either side. And it comes 27 minutes in. And really, this feels like the first threatening moment of the game for St. Francis.
Well, it was great build-up, Greg, right through the center of the field. Marian gave it away in a bad spot. Great build-up through the middle. Gets it to the outside, but good closing speed there by the Marian defenders to knock the ball out. Yes, they gave away a corner, but good defense nonetheless.
It is Scheifele that will send this ball in. Not exactly clear with great fluidity, and that was flicked in. What a touch by St. Francis, and they get one back.
Yeah, great bending ball in on the corner. Marquez does a good job to knock the ball down, does not get it cleared out. And then St. Francis, oh my goodness, what a finish.
Outstanding from Christian Walter. It's his 5th goal of the campaign. Christian, a sophomore from Germany. The service by Mendia. He'll get his first assist of the year. Even though the scoreboard had matched, frankly, the way the pitch had been tilted in favor of Marian, you blink your eye and it's a 1-goal match. Player down for the Knights. As soon as they get possession, they can elect to maybe kind of play it out, but no, they'll play on.
Yeah, going back to the goal, Greg, just great awareness as to where he was in reference to the goal. Had his back turned to the goal, knew exactly where the keeper was for Marian, and just flicked it right past him, not even looking at the goal.
St. Francis can capitalize on this newfound momentum. It's also probably on a dry night. Marquez probably catches that no problem.
Yeah.
Like just to kind of knock it down and left the door open. St. Francis came charging through.
Yeah, like I said, Marquez did a great job knocking the ball down, got it in front, knocking it down in front of him. Unfortunately, there were no Marian defenders there to help clear it out. St. Francis was there to clean up and take care of business.
Good battle in the midfield that eventually is tracked down by the Knights. So 29 minutes in, and this one has been a goal fest so far. St. Francis is going to start to get a few more bodies heading towards where the 4th official would be. Right idea to flick that ball forward, just couldn't get it by Wesley Cashinger. All the way to the back for Marian. Heine Norbo will be the next player to enter for St. Francis when given the opportunity. Getting a few last-minute instructions from head coach Mamba Chisoni before he makes his way into the mix. And a throw-in coming here for the Cougars. St. Francis can get as high as 2. knows they'll be on the road on Tuesday. And this one is not just for pride. They are trying to help their postseason cause and make it to the national tournament for a second consecutive year. Great job to avoid the oncoming traffic. And again, room at the back. Great read at the very end by Cerna just to sweep that ball away.
And again, time and time again, we've seen so far here tonight the speed that Marian plays on the flanks. As soon as they win that ball in the back, they are getting the ball to the outside and they are taking off in both directions. It's fantastic to watch.
By the way, Bethel does lead Indiana Wesleyan 1-0. That'll be a goal kick. And Spring Arbor leads Goshen 1-0. The other two matches, Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington. Grace and Taylor, those are both goalless draws in the first half of those matches. The Indiana Wesleyan Bethel game kicked at 6. The other 4 games all running simultaneously at 7 o'clock. Ochi O'Neilis. Sends this one halfway up the park. All the way through. Rain starting to pick up a little bit more.
And for the Cougars, number 17.
Sam Viehaus is awaiting instructions as to entering this match for Marian. Again, not often you can bring a 10-goal scorer off the bench, but such is the lineup that James Jenkins can trot out tonight.
Yeah, Gustavo Nunez exited the match a little banged up. Hopefully he's okay. But to have Sam Viehaus come off the bench, like you said, with the 10 goals, that's a free kick for St. Francis.
Foul called against Marian. Just missed the opportunity to quickly kind of turn and go the opposite direction.
But Sam Viehaus is a absolute, like I said, a menace for back lines, a huge body in the box, a big target to hit, just a very entertaining player.
Yes, Viehaus, 6'4", 195 pounds.
And he can climb, too. They can play the ball high, and he can climb the stairs to get there.
Norba to send this in. Bending ball that gives Marquez no bother at all. And again, you kind of wonder, you don't have this luxury as much if you're Marian, but maybe from St. Francis' perspective, are there almost things that you're kind of keeping filed away in case you have to try and play these guys in 6 days. In other words, you may not break out your best set piece. You may not break out your best corner, just to keep that in your back pocket for a conference tournament game. Cash and Jay.
I could see that, not wanting to play all their cards at one
Jelani
time.
plays that in, but plays it behind a teammate. That bounding ball could go in favor of Marian. Racing forward, rounding the keeper, slotting it home, make it 3.
Fantastic job there by Marian. Just does a great job reading the ball. Foslin Grant just reads the bounce perfectly, takes a touch right past the keeper, gets it to his left foot, just does enough to squeak it past the post. Foslin Grant makes it 3-1 for the Knights.
You know, kind of given how St. Francis is playing, you almost feel like you're playing for like goal differential. In other words, I'm stunned. They were down 2 goals or down 2 goals again. They have left their guys at the back amazingly exposed. Almost like a team that is chasing a goal knowing, hey, you have to win. A draw doesn't do you any good here.
Yeah.
Because you've seen numerous looks just like that for Marian so far.
And all 3 goals for the Knights have come off a type of counterattack.
Right, yeah. So again, Marian in their last 5 matches had scored twice. They have scored 3 in 34 minutes tonight.
And just a fantastic job there by Fossil Grant to read that bounce and used his speed to get past the defender, kind of used the body a little bit to get past the defender as well, and then just took care of business from there.
Fossil, his 3rd goal of the season. Really was a driving force on last year's team for Marian. Nervy pass here, and now this leads to a break the other direction. Jelani has a hit that takes a pro-Marian bounce.
Yeah, bad giveaway there for the Marian Knights on that back line. An unfortunate giveaway. Really got lucky there that St. Francis couldn't do anything with it.
And frankly, Brandon, it's the first kind of nervy ball at the back we have seen from Marian throughout the course of the match.
Yeah, just a bad miscue there for the Knights. And like you said, we haven't seen any of that so far here tonight for the Knights.
Giveaway then by St. Francis. Normally, as you get later in the season, the goals go down. You're playing more results, more pragmatic, more 1-0 type of games. Obviously, tonight, it has been the exact opposite so far.
Well, and really knowing that it could be their last home match of the season, barring hosting a match in the tournament, Greg, but really you knew Marian was going to come out excited.
On the cross here. And flag went up. That was Doolittle. That was looking back post, but let's take a look here.
And just a great little touch on that pass. Didn't put a ton on it on that cross. Right across the 6 for the Knights. Like you said, the flag was up.
Substitution may be required here for St. Francis. They have a player down. I did not see that as being in an offside position, but for what it's worth. So give you a great look here. And I thought this was timed. Absolutely.
Yeah, he is absolutely onside there. Even on the back post run onside, there was no offside there whatsoever. Josh Wessling did a great job putting that ball right across the 6. I don't know what the referee, the line judge saw there, unless they called the foul on the contact with the keeper. That's what it looks like, Greg, via the placement.
Ball trickles in a touch for a throw in coming here for Marian.
Either way, the intensity that the Marian Knights are playing with right now is extreme. And it's very entertaining to watch. Just the precision passing. Knowing a perfect example right there. They know exactly where it's going to go. They know where their teammates are.
This is the Marian team we saw in the non-conference season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ball flicked forward. Cash and Jay got there first. They'll play it to safety, and it'll be another Marian throw. This portion of the match brought to us by our friends at Masters Heating and Cooling. When the action heats up, trust Masters Heating and Cooling Indianapolis to keep your home cool. Visit mastersindy.com for more information. Another throw coming for the Knights.
And again, one thing for Marian, and Coach Jenkins even said it, he goes, we just have to finish the opportunities that we're given, and they are doing exactly that tonight. You're not getting style points for the types of goals you score. Each goal counts the same. Just put the ball in the back of the net, and the Knights are doing just that.
Got some scores to update you on. Bethel now leads Indiana Wesleyan 2-0. So it's looking more like the Pirates are going to claim the league championship in the regular season. Good take here. Plays it across, and that's a very tough angle to head one home. But the fact that ball got to him there, tremendously impressive.
Absolutely, and just really, again, showcasing the speed on the flanks that this Marian Knights team has. Great replay here by the IAC Sports Network crew. Just beats the defender with one touch to the right foot, 2 defenders in front of him, bends the ball in right to the penalty spot. Like you said, tough angle to head from, but just great ball into the box again for the Knights.
That was Kopp that was the player that tried to steer that one around for a 4th first-half goal. Spring Arbor leads at Goshen 3-0, so again, that match is kind of going according to form. Here's one that would be a bit of an upset. Taylor is leading Grace 1-0. It's very big for Taylor kind of on the back end of the league to ensure they have a conference tournament berth. We'll keep track of all those as they go. Again, the first one to finish will be Bethel and Indiana Wesleyan. That match will wrap while this match is in halftime. Oh, my goodness. You don't have to touch it. Go ahead and bash it home just to be sure. It's been that kind of night for St. Francis. And Doolittle, trust me, his hamstring's just fine.
Oh, yeah.
4-1. And for Donovan, the Fort Wayne native against his hometown team.
And this is what happens, Greg. When you pressure the goalkeeper, you get in his head, you make him force a mistake, and guess what? He can just pass it to himself and just tap it right into the back of the net. Tries to fake everybody with the injury.
I don't know if it's dad joke or broadcasters doing what we do. Lived up to his last name. He was able to do little on that and put that one home. 4-1, Marian, a 3-goal lead. Less than 6 minutes to go. And again, folks, Marian, this is kind of what we thought we would see from them most of the year.
Yeah.
St. Francis has been a bit of a surprise where they are in the table to be third, and it has been all Marian this evening.
Well, and Greg, the last time you and I were here, the goal differential from Marian against their opponents was astronomical. And they're showing why here tonight. Because, again, they're still outscoring every single one of their opponents. They just haven't gotten the results that they wanted. We are seeing the Marian team that can put the ball in the back of the net and frantically put the ball in the back of the net.
I think that was Mendia that was whistled for the foul. And so, again, what we have not seen from Marian, because they've been so good in the run of play, is that it's not been set pieces, it's not been corners or throws. João Rocha, junior from Brazil. Just a 2-man wall here by St. Francis. Bending ball. Cougars got to head to it first, and Ocha O'Neilis will track this down. And again, Marian with a 3-goal lead. There's still a lot of time left to go. But again, the way that the math is checking out, imagine this being the 6th seed out of 8 in your league tournament. And that's what it looks like for Marian right now because of the Spring Arbor result in front of them.
And the fact that if it stands that way, Greg, right, them being the 6th seed, the fact that your 6th seed can score like this, it's very impressive. Because Coach Jenkins and the rest of the Marian team know they should not be the 6th seed, right? They know that they should have done better in some previous matches. But they're going to be a very tough out in this Crossroads League tournament.
Opportunity here. And a throw in coming. Ball trickling to touch. It will be a throw coming for St. Francis, and St. Francis is going to try to simply kind of recalibrate at halftime. Because this, again, has not been what their season has looked like once the calendar flipped into league play.
Correct. Good control.
Opportunity here at the back. If you can get one back by halftime, you get thrown a little bit of a lifeline here if you're the Cougars.
But again, you have to give credit where credit is due for this Marian team, and it's in the midfield. It's in that defensive backfield for the Marian Knights here tonight. Their closing speed and their ability to knock St. Francis off the ball anytime they get any sort of possession has been very impressive.
One of the best results of the season for St. Francis came a couple of weeks ago when they played Indiana Wesleyan on the road to a 1-1 draw. Their 4 wins have kind of come of late against the back half of the league, but they have been impressive in all of those games. Throw in coming here. And a foul throw at that. So we play on, and again, that's just the nature of the Eddie Rabbit, I love a rainy night that we are dealing with here this evening.
Yep, the rain is coming down here in Indianapolis. Temperature-wise, it's not bad. It's not bad for a, we're 2 days away from Halloween. So weather-wise, it is feeling like fall, but we'll take it temperature-wise.
St. Francis, they are guaranteed a home game. They can't do worse than 4th at the end of the night tonight. And the good news for them is that Grace, the team behind them, is trailing currently. Spring Arbor can get to them, but again, St. Francis owns the tiebreaker. So while this result is not looking good, the other results around the league are looking good. Here's the problem. The team that has scored 4 against them would be the team they would face, albeit in Fort Wayne, 6 days from now. Nothing wrong with that tackle there. That's well done by St. Francis. Good read. That was a bit of an arm tug that wasn't called. But it'll be in a throw-in 50 yards down the park in favor of Marian with 60 seconds left to go before halftime.
Unfortunately for the St. Francis defender, he turns around and sees Sam Vihaus trucking at him, coming right at him, so he just plays the ball out of bounds. Unfortunate turn.
Just trying to avoid calamity here at the end of the half if you're Marian. Take a 3-goal lead to the break. And high line being played. And that'll be good enough for the Knights. You'll hear the countdown from 10 coming up in a matter of moments. Well, this is as good of a half as you could have dreamed for Marian. A team that, again, really has been stuck in neutral the last couple of weeks. It was all systems go in half number 1 this evening. Our score, Marian 4 and St. Francis 1. We'll take this time out. We'll come back, start talking about halftime, update you on scores from around the league as we have been doing, what that means to the table. Also checking on the women's sides, which are also finishing their regular season tonight. That and much more when we come back to Indianapolis. A brace for Marian's Gustavo Nunez, and that's just half the goals scored. Marian 4, St. Francis 1. You're watching on ISC.
Steady, steady.
I got this.
I don't think that's right, Peyton.
Being a heart surgeon is tough.
I know. The whole cardiac team at Ascension St. Vincent is so skilled.
They can do it all, even the most complex heart surgeries.
How about we leave it to the professionals?
I like that.
Get expert care for hearts big and small at Ascension St. Vincent.
That doesn't go there.
We'll fix you, pal.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
Rain coming down. It is liquid sunshine for Marian. They lead at 4-1 against St. Francis. Tonight's game presented in part by Michaelis. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services. No one answers your prayers. The phone's quicker than Michaelis. Call 1-844-FIX-INDY. You'll see some of the St. Francis players kind of making the turn here around the corner, and they have to be stunned again. They have won 4 of their last 5, albeit those 4 wins all kind of against the back half of the league, but still they were in phenomenal form coming in. Marian was not. But Marian's been great for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and just the intensity that the Marian Knights are playing with tonight, just extremely impressive. St. Francis has been on their heels since really the first minute of the match. They've gotten the goal just off a quick slip there by Marquez, the keeper, with a beautiful finish off the back heel into the off the crossbar and in for St. Francis. But really, it's been Marian since the first minute, and St. Francis doesn't have an answer yet.
By the way, they are scoreless in terms of the reverse fixture, if you will, the women's match that is taking place up in Fort Wayne after Marian beat Spring Arbor and Indiana Wesleyan back-to-back matchups. Marian is now listed as number 2 in the nation in terms of women's soccer. Again, they know they will get to host as many games as they play in the Crossroads tournament. They know that, again, they will host a regional round of the tournament and just need to win one game to get down to Florida for the national round of 16. That game would be on November the 22nd. And the men's team is hoping if they can keep stringing together some wins, maybe, just maybe, they get a regional round here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, if you're the men of Marian right now, just keep doing what you're doing. Take care of business here tonight. Go get a win in the conference tournament, or 2 or 3, right? If you're Coach Jenkins, you want to win everything. But really, take care of business tonight. Take it one game at a time, and everything will play out the way you want it to.
By the way, in terms of volleyball, how about this? Marian took set 1 from Indiana Wesleyan across campus, 28-26. Indiana Wesleyan, one of the top programs in the nation. However, IWU leads set number 2 by a score of 16-10. So we'll try to keep you abreast as to everything that is going on. By the way, the Wildcats, in terms of volleyball, check in at number 8. And honestly, the women's volleyball story at Marian is very similar to the men's soccer story. Kind of hanging around the national rankings. The national tournament is still a possibility. In terms of hosting games in the conference tournament, looks unlikely. Still a lot to play for. By the way, the women, in terms of volleyball, they play through next Wednesday. Then their league tournament starts immediately that following Saturday. On the flip side for soccer, and they're done as of tonight.
Right.
Men's tournament starts Tuesday. Women's tournament starts on Wednesday. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, our first half highlights. And again, we will update you on scores from elsewhere around the league. As the rain continues to fall, it is Marian 4 and St. Francis 1. You're watching Crossroads League Men's Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
When you have back or neck pain, you'll try anything for relief. Anything.
Whoa! Honey?
Honey, it was mustard seed.
For real options, get your back in front of the spine experts at Ortho Indy. Ortho Indy Spine. This is your way back.
We jumped in immediately. We take a intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away, because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
There's companies always asking for students with shop experience. And the dean will email me and say, hey, they're looking for a guy just like you, which is awesome that the dean knows who a guy like me is.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach. And at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 5.74% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
We'll have some highlights that start to fly by for you. As we do, we'll fill you in on some of the numbers. 6 shots for St. Francis, just 1 of those on target. How about the efficiency of opportunity for Marian? 5 shots, 4 on target. They have all gone in. In fact, tonight's goalkeepers have as many saves as Brant and I do. 0. 4 fouls for Marian, 1 so far for St. Francis. Just 1 corner of the match, and offside flag has gone up 3 times in tonight's game. Now, again, those numbers tend to back up what you are seeing here. And to be blunt, the Marian opportunities have been with gaping nets awaiting them. You know, these have not been worldies for Marian. Right. They've been tapping home easy chances so far.
Well, and that's exactly what you want. If you're the Knights, you want to create so much chaos in the back that when you get a shot on goal, it looks like an easy tap in, right? And that's, oh my goodness, this Doolittle goal right here, this highlight, Exhibit A, right, Greg? Just the pressure on the goalkeeper deflects the pass and just taps it in. As you said, Doolittle on that one. It's just been phenomenal to watch for Marian Knights.
A lot of times when you have goals like that, they get nominated to when playing it out of the back goes wrong. Mm-hmm. That wasn't playing it out of the back. That was just the keeper who'd already let in 3, just kind of had a mental lapse, and as he clears it right to the shin of the player that is right in front of you. Sometimes it is just your night, and that is kind of the way that it feels currently for Marian University. All right, so, again, let's update you on the scores around the league, and then we'll try to give you some context as to what that means. The Bethel match has gone final. Bethel beats Indiana Wesleyan 2-0. So, again, Bethel will be the 1 seed, and with this result, the way it's trending right now, St. Francis could have caught Indiana Wesleyan for the 2. That looks unlikely. So, again, likely Bethel 1, Indiana Wesleyan 2 from a seeding standpoint. Other matches are all at halftime. Mount Vernon Nazarene and Huntington, 0-0. Taylor leads Grace at halftime, 1-0. And Spring Arbor putting it on Goshen, which was what was expected. That match has gotten to 4-0 at halftime. So, trying to kind of do the math on the fly. Bethel, number 1. Indiana Wesleyan, number 2. St. Francis, the 3 seed. Spring Arbor, the 4. Grace, the 5. Marian, the 6. Mount Vernon and Huntington are tied in the standings, and they're tied on the scoreboard. Taylor would jump both of them to 7. Have to come down to Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington on tiebreakers as to who would be the 8th and final seed. So those 2 teams are very much motivated to find a goal in the second half of that one, and it would be Goshen checking in at number 10. So, Brant, as it stands now, these 2 teams would play each other next Tuesday. Marian go up by 69 to Bishop Darcy Stadium for the return match in the quarterfinals next Tuesday.
Which, again, would be a phenomenal and entertaining match to start off the Crossroads League tournament. But really, when you look at this, if you're St. Francis, knowing that information, and I'm sure the coaching staff is probably doing what you're doing right now, kind of going through the math of, hey, here's where we stand. We will most likely host a tournament match next week. Could it be Marian? What do we do in the second half if we know it's going to be Marian? Do we play all of our cards? Do we kind of check out a little bit, possibly? What do we do here? Now it's, okay, if you're Marian, go take care of business. If you're St. Francis, go do you, right? Go do you as much as you possibly can. But really, knowing that in the back of your mind, you are most likely playing each other again next week. It's kind of a toss-up as to how you approach the second half.
Again, the only way that changes would basically be if Grace is able to come from behind and beat Taylor. They trail 1-0 for 45 minutes.
Right.
If Grace wins, then Marian would go to Grace, and St. Francis would host Spring Arbor. So that's the other game that truly impacts this one at this point in time. We'll do a pop quiz on this at the end of the match. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Second half action is not too far away here in Indianapolis as you're watching Marian men's soccer on the ISC Sports Network.
Caitlin, I'm here to show you all the best places in Indy, like the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital ER.
Great place to go for a fever, am I right?
Or a common cold. Get it? Like a common cold? Tough crowd.
Can I have an autograph?
Of course.
Caitlin, it kind of seems like you already know your way around.
A little, but my name's not in the hospital yet.
Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, a new and expanded ER to serve more of Indiana's kids.
Cold, like cold. That's the joke, right?
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
A look underneath the grandstands here at Ascension St. Vincent Field and by the ISC Sports Network Production Center. The soon-to-be Mystery Machine at some point in time. Tonight's matchup is brought to us by Miller Transportation. Miller Transportation is the official transportation sponsor of Marian Athletics. Of course, we are in this building a lot this time of year. We'll be back here on Saturday when Marian plays host to, well, as we would say in this state, the other St. Francis. I'm sure they love that in Joliet, Illinois. The Fighting Saints make their way down I-65 to take on Marian at 1:05. Scott McCauley and Zach Graves will have all the action for you Saturday afternoon right here on the ISC Sports Network.
That'll be a great matchup.
3 more weeks in the NAIA regular season. Ted Karras' team ranked number 7 in the polls that were released earlier this week. They are trending towards getting the first week of the tournament off and then hosting a playoff game on Thanksgiving weekend. We are underway for half number 2 here at Ascension St. Vincent Field. And that'll be a foul whistle against St. Francis. Good takeaway in the midfield by the Cougars. And Marian gets it right back.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate slip there for St. Francis, just on that wet turf, lost his footing.
You'll have that at times tonight. Good touch to widen the attack, but couldn't get back to it. Crosses the byline for what will be a goal kick coming here for Marian.
And really, and this is really the kind of start for St. Francis that you want to see. You're down 3 goals. There's some playoff Crossroads League tournament placement on the line here tonight. You want to be full go in this second half.
And that'll be a foul against Foslin Grant that just made a little contact up and around the head of the center back and Marvin Waymeyer. Waymeyer, a sophomore from Germany. It's Mendia that will send this one in. Marian got ahead to it first. Not out of danger just yet. Good turn by the Cougars. Cross doesn't get through. Great sliding block by Marian. And again, because numbers being thrown forward, here you go again at the back. That ball maybe played just a little too centrally that time by the Knights. Throw in coming for Marian. Rafael Zambrano was the intended target.
But again, Greg, just shows how quickly Marian can get on that counterattack and switch the field so quickly.
Zambrano, a native of Venezuela. That'll be a foul against the Knights. 5th foul whistled against Marian so far in the match. You almost try to attack this in thirds if you're St. Francis. Try to get it back to a 2-goal difference by the time you get to the 30-minute mark. Try to make it a 1-goal game with 15 to play to give yourself a chance. And again, a point, given the scenario, would be phenomenal, but a point is helpful in terms of the seeding for St. Francis.
Yeah, and if they can get a point after being down 4-1, Greg, I mean, that would be very, very impressive for St. Francis to come back and get a point.
Getting the head in there and just avoiding a high boot, not just winning the ball back, but not taking one upside the head. And a bit of a dive. This is our referee. And we will try to keep our eyes on that Grayson-Taylor match, since that directly affects St. Francis this evening. If that match stays the way it is, then I'm not sure you can kind of erase the sting of what has been 4-1 so far. But in terms of the math, it means that this match didn't change anything in the standings. Or
right.
Obviously, confidence and ego get affected going into a potential rematch on Tuesday. Ball just skips over. Good hustle by Marian to keep it in play. And sometimes you can just kind of let up on those when you got a 3-goal cushion. You'll see that is not the case for Marian.
Yeah, Marian still playing with that same intensity that we saw in the first half.
Cross blocked. Good job to hustle back and not just give the corner, of which Marian hasn't had one again. We've had just one trip to the corner flag in tonight's match.
Which, given these elements here tonight, Greg, the rain, the wind, that's really surprising that we haven't seen more corners on both sides.
Let's go all the way back. Good overlapping run here, but when you're up 3 goals, you never worry about going for a little more possession. Bit of a attempt to chip the keeper, then the rebound, and that will be deemed to have been. And we play on. I thought that I was going to say I think the ball was deemed to have gone out of play and then kind of came back in. Now
right.
We stop to make sure that the injured player for Marian is all right. Again, that's Zambrano.
Yeah, Nunez does a great job to get this ball across. And then Zambrano, he and the keeper just kind of collide there. Just unfortunate there for the contact.
Yeah, clearly that ball stayed in play, so that was simply going back to point of contact to make sure the play was all right. That was an injury check.
Yeah, he took a hit. Glad to see both players are okay, because both players did come into contact with one another.
And that'll be a foul. The Grease, who came on in the first half, whistled for the contact as Grant hobbles a bit. This can frankly be beautifully boring if you're Marian, stake to a 3-goal advantage. Knights looking for their 4th league win and 9th win overall. The 4 goals that in a league match is the most they have scored since their opener.
Kuroda, who's having himself a match here tonight. Beautiful footwork.
Trying to go for glory. Ball went right back at him. But again, good looking couple of touches here. And flag does go up. Nope. Play on. Maybe that might have just trickled across the byline. It did not. Ball played wide to Scheifele. On the cross, Marquez can simply watch that steer by to his right, knowing he was tucked inside that near post.
But again, I'd say so far here in the early going of the second half here, Rake, possession-wise, it's been favoring Marian.
frankly, with a 3-goal lead, that's all that matters.
Right.
Obviously not given much of a choice. You're not playing for goal differential here now. St. Francis going to try to turn the wick up a little bit in terms of the press. That ball is played off a Marian player. Throw in taken. Good couple of touches. Keeper has been a bit aggressive, I think, at times. Coming off his line. That was warranted. That was
absolutely
well played by O'Neilis.
Yeah, we saw a couple times in the first half where he came off his line and we're like, why are you playing up so high right now?
And especially when you've got the frame he does.
Yes.
When, frankly, you can just rely on your size, just get big, spread your arms, and provide a target.
He's tall and he has the wingspan.
Yeah, the undersized keepers, you have to attack it like that. You have to kind of cut the angles a little bit. Throw in coming here.
Just about to say that. It's better for those smaller sized keepers to come out, cut off the angle. But really, when you're a big framed goalkeeper, there's no need to come out as much as he has.
Ball takes a touch in favor of Marian, and will drop back into a bit more of coverage. That's Sebastian Gonzalez, who has played the full 50 minutes so far. Marian played 3 substitutes in half number 1. Great possession to allow enough time for that to develop. 2 options on the cross, and if your fallback is a corner, that's well played. Excellent build by Marian.
Yeah, great build, great possession in the midfield. The patience on that ball, letting that play develop to get the ball to the outside, and then creating a corner here for the Knights. Just incredible patience.
Zambrano will send this in. All the way through. Have a hit from distance that spilled, tapped home, make it 5. A 5th goal for Marian. An outstanding blast that Sebastian Gonzalez gets onto and gets his first goal of the season.
Yep, it's a great rip from distance. The ball takes a deflection. Keeper can't settle it. And then Gonzalez is there for the cleanup. The tap in, the glory. Gonzalez gets his goal.
And obviously Gonzalez is not normally in that neighborhood, but because it was a corner, he's going to be a little further forward. And think back to a great friend, the former head coach of the Indy 11, the late Tim Hankinson. He loved the phrase, the rat smelled the cheese. Especially when you're a defender, you don't get many looks like that one. Able to handle it, and the margin grows for Marian. Well, this was not expected tonight. Again, folks, if these two teams see each other in 6 days, Marian will be the lower seeded team.
Would you consider them the favorite going into that match, Greg?
It is, but it is so tough to replicate a performance like this one where just everything falls for you. And that's not taking anything away from Marian, but sometimes it's just your night.
But the amount of confidence that this is...
It's not going to hurt.
Yeah, that Marian will be playing with, the momentum that they will have coming off. Now, granted, there's still time left, right? There's 33-plus minutes left in this match. But the amount of momentum and the confidence that Marian will have going into that match at St. Francis is going to be huge.
Taylor maintains a 1-0 lead on Grace, by the way. And Mount Vernon, Nazarene, Huntington continue to be a 0-0 draw. Marian allowing a little more possession around the back now. Stake to a 4-goal lead. This is the longest spell of possession that the Cougars have had tonight. And that'll be a foul. Anytime you have that contact with an extended arm, you're going to draw the whistle. So Foslin Grant guilty of the infraction, and again, a no doubt about it call.
Yeah, just a little nudge at the back. Nothing too crazy there from Foslin Grant. Just knocks him off the ball.
Set piece opportunity that Mendia will try to steer in. Knight's going to head there first. Not a danger just yet. Cerna tried to redirect and sent that towards the high jump pit, unfortunately. Long distance ball trying to split the center backs, and again, keeper comes way off of his line. Undeterred by previous issues.
Yeah, and good job there by the St. Francis defenders to be there in the right spot to help the keeper clear that one away. But my goodness, the keeper playing very high out of his box.
Well, knocked away from Nicholas Balbin, junior from Lima, Peru. The Grease will try to find a teammate. And when you've got a 4-goal advantage of scored 5, foul against St. Francis, you know, it's easy just to draw your attention towards the attacking third. To me, Brant, this match has been one in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's not been 50, it's been 80-20 in favor of the balls that Marian has won, heading in the right direction.
Well, and anytime St. Francis really starts to put, you know, A-B passes together, the Marian midfielders and the defenders that are coming up to win the ball in the midfield are closing so fast that St. Francis can't get anything going.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, just like that. Perfect example.
3v4 at the back. Trying to play that across. Again, keeper able to collapse on that one. Looks like Doolittle amongst players. It's loosening to re-enter for Marian. And normally you're used to playing every 3 or 4 days in league play. You'll get back to that, you hope, next week. But you've got 6 days between matches. You're not exactly worried about kind of minutes tonight. What you do have the luxury of doing, if you're James Jenkins, is making sure that all your seniors get a little run tonight. Foul, and we'll stop the clock here because looks like a card's going to be shown for the first time. A little frustration comes out. DeGrease will be called for the yellow.
And really, Greg, a luxury that Coach Jenkins really didn't think he was going to have tonight is getting some seniors that extra run here tonight on senior night.
Carota, a senior. Diego Reguera, a senior. Foslin Grant, a senior. Sebastian Gonzalez, a senior. Justin Kopp, a senior. The other senior is Colton Crouch, who is a little bit further down the goalkeeping depth chart. And I would imagine if he's going to get a look tonight, you kind of get him in the last couple of minutes just to get him a chance to play in front of friends and family. He is a local product from Plainfield. Again, flying down the flank. Good hustle by the center. That's Cerna. It will be a throw-in, but it's been that type of ball that has led to numerous opportunities for Marian tonight.
Yeah, the build-up, the pace from Marian, from the back line all the way through the midfield. It just took 2 passes to get all the way up into the attacking third, Greg. And really, we've seen that time and time again here tonight from the Marian Knights.
Well, Ramirez on the throw. There is a junior from Venezuela. The cross. Not a lot of traffic there around the 6 by Marian, and frankly, you don't blame them with a 4-goal lead. No need to take the risk and throw numbers forward.
In for the Knights, number 10, Donovan Doolittle.
So Doolittle returns. Bell's toll for the bottom of the hour here on campus at 8:30. Not a bad ball there by St. Francis, but eventually physics take over as that ball rolls across the byline for a Marian goal kick. Tonight's game presented in part by our friends at Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, a proud partner of the Marian University Athletics. And Brant thinks, you know what, it's a good time for me to down some Mountain Dew as I'm giving said read for Pepsi.
Absolutely. Delicious. Greg, you talked about sending numbers forward for the Marian Knights, and really looking back on the goals that the Knights have scored, they haven't really thrown numbers forward all match.
Haven't had to.
They haven't had
right.
to. And really, they've done what they've done in this match tonight with their attackers that they normally have up top. So really just extremely, extremely impressive play from the Marian Knights in every aspect of the pitch.
And no change in the other matchups. 0-0 between Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington. 1-0 Taylor leading Grace. And that would be kind of the surprise of the night. Because Taylor would go from being the number 9 seed to being in a 3-way tie with Huntington and Mount Vernon Nazarene. That ball punted away by Marquez. 2 of those teams would get in, and 1 would be going home. Bethel has won the regular season championship. They won 2-0 tonight against Indiana Wesleyan. Again, bit of a giveaway at the back. And Marian, no need to force the issue. Take your time, make St. Francis chase you. It's good soccer IQ play by Nunez, already sitting on 2 goals to not feel the need to kind of go for glory and go for the hat trick there.
Yeah, he did a good job just outside the 18, pulling the ball back, letting some of his teammates catch up to him. Keep possession.
On the cross, looking back post, headed down, but just wide of the target.
Yeah, Foslin Grant did a great job going up for the header. Climbs the ladder and just past the post. Keeper was in a great position as well. Just could not get it on target.
Let's update you. Marian leading St. Francis 1-0 in women's soccer up in Fort Wayne. That is halfway through half number 2. And Marian will play whichever team is seated 8th on the women's side of the bracket next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We'll have that one for you here on the ISC Sports Network. Good battle in the midfield that still is not decided. A couple of bodies are down right now for St. Francis. They eventually are back up. Now one has sat back down, and yeah, ball's in a neutral position. We'll stop here. Yep, that's the right. It's well officiated.
Yeah, good call there by the referee.
Marian, once they went backwards, we stop. The player that is down, I think that's DeGrease, stood up and then immediately sat back down. Since that was the time to double back and check on that. DeGrease will likely exit her again. You've got bigger fish to fry at this point if you're St. Francis. You're on to next Tuesday. Pedro Costa will come on.
Yeah, what's nice about both teams having that window between matches is everyone can get healthy. You get players the rest, make sure they're getting their nutrition right, getting their reps in practice, getting ready for that possible rematch next week.
By the way, Indiana Wesley now leading Marian 2-1 in volleyball. Marian player goes down. Before we restart, we'll check. That is Ramirez, that is the injured player. Just got clipped. Junior Hoppy is about to come on here for the first time. St. Francis, I think, is recognizing, you know what, let's start getting some guys to the sideline and think about the next one.
And for the Cougars, number 4, Pedro Costa, and number 7, Junior Hoppy.
Well, like you said, Greg, bigger fish to fry starting next week. Making sure you're not risking any injuries to your, I wouldn't say top players, but your key players there at, that are getting more run. Get some players that haven't seen the field much. Get them some playing time as well.
Wonderful touch. And then an excellent find. Have a hit. No, it's going to be a cross, and Marian couldn't get back on it.
Yeah, great touch, great control. Gets the ball to the outside. Just nobody there for the cross for the Knights.
Marian 8 shots, 6 on target. 5 have found the back of the net. 6 shots for St. Francis. Just 1 of them has been on target, and that is the goal. And before this, that was a thing of beauty. That was fantastic on the flick for the goal. And that will be a foul against Marian. That may be a card against Marian as well. And if nothing else, that will be a set-piece opportunity. So it is yellow that is shown, and unfortunately for the Marian player, and Noah Almeida, that is the first time we have called his name tonight.
Yeah, Almeida goes in on the hard tackle, leg up, cleats up.
Almeida, a local product from Zionsville. A chance to get one back here if you're St. Francis. Beautiful bending ball headed down and in. That is a goal for the Cougars, and Junior Hoppy, who just came on, that'll be his first goal of the season, did have an assist. The junior from Zimbabwe makes it 5-2.
Yeah, great set piece taken here. Good bending ball into the box, and just great using his size. Gets the head on, turns it towards frame. Nothing Marquez could do on that one, but just watch the ball go into the back of the net.
Yeah, if you are James Jenkins, there's your coaches, even in good performance, always look for things they can kind of harp on and teach on. That's your teaching moment right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just position-wise on the defensive side, letting a player on a set piece get in front of you with that much space on the goal, just being able to turn his body on frame, just, yeah, absolute teachable moment there.
First bit of kind of forward momentum that St. Francis has had in the second half. Again, it's not like they have played with their hair on fire kind of chasing the game. Frankly, the second half has looked a lot like the first. The chances have not been as many for Marian, but they have controlled the possession as much as they did in half number 1. And on cue, here comes Grant looking to create a little bit more. Just played it behind a teammate. Waymeyer eventually heads it away.
Really, I thought that in that possession, I thought Files and Grant had a lot more space to work with, go into the corner more, let his teammates develop in the middle. He played it a little bit quicker than I expected him to on that one.
And for the Knights after the goal, number 21, Cristobal Gutierrez.
Shoulder to shoulder, nothing wrong there. Throw in coming. And that was Grant that battled his way forward. Cristobal Gutierrez is in for the first time. Junior from Chile for this Marian Knights program. Good hold up play in the midfield. And Doolittle picked up his second goal of the season. The junior from Canterbury School of Fort Wayne, one of Indiana's original soccer powerhouses. Greg Mock was the head coach there for parts of 5 decades.
That's so cool.
Pros have come from that program. And most recently, Reese Buckmaster, who has played in the USL Championship for many years after playing at Indiana University. Good turn. No whistle. Not enough in it. And a throw-in coming here for Marian. Back to Marquez. And Marquez getting his 5th start of the year. As of now, he's not going to add in great quantity to his save total because the guys in front of him have been so dominant.
He hasn't had to.
No, not a lot of traffic his way. Going to add to his win total, barring something of the calamitous here. As the rain starts to pick up a little bit more, that ball will trickle in a touch, and it gives us a chance to talk about our friends at Speedway Subaru. For our team to yours. Good luck from Speedway Subaru to the Marian Knights. At Speedway Subaru, you'll find the largest Subaru inventory around, all backed by our Speedway Cares lifetime powertrain warranty, absolutely free. Speedway Subaru, family-owned, Indy-proud, and here in Eunice, and literally just down the street from Marian University, 16th Street, SpeedwaySubaru.com, and I am a proud customer of Speedway Subaru. Service department took great care of me the last few days when the car I had purchased from Speedway Subaru 5 years ago and 155,000 miles ago had a bit of a problem. Now my car is up and running strong. And a cut back to nowhere for St. Francis. It's just kind of time to get a dry shirt on and get on the bus at this point. And just know, hey, you're better than you kind of showed tonight. Time to circle the wagons, knowing you could easily see Marian in 6 days. Grant on the hustle bus. Ocha Onelius over. By the way, the 5 goals allowed by St. Francis, the most they have allowed in the match this year. Ramirez couldn't find Doolittle, and second man found it with a handball. So
it's a good ball in, just unfortunately couldn't make contact there for the Knights in the penalty area.
Player takes tumble for Marian, pops right back up. Joshua Gelani, sophomore from Portugal, has a hit and off the upright. This will allow for Kopp to return. Again, this is a chance to get a senior a little more run for Marian. Kopp saw time in the first half as well. 5 of the 6 seniors have all seen playing time tonight.
So, Greg, I asked Coach Jenkins, what has this 2025 men's Marian Knights team meant to him? And he said, I love celebrating all season with some fantastic young men. We build internally on relationships and strong connections. Yes, we play soccer out on the field, but there is so much more to what makes our program special, and it's built on culture and doing things the right way, and that is exactly what they do here at Marian. And he said all season long that it's been trying to make this fall season special for the seniors. I think they've done just that.
Well, tonight is a positive step in terms of trying to ensure that you're kind of in place for an at-large bid if you don't win the league tournament.
And this win tonight, yes, you've let 2 goals in, but really the dominance that you've shown on the pitch tonight has been very, very impressive and will look very good on the resume.
Marian scored 6.5 minutes in, and they have not trailed this evening.
And what is so great, like you said earlier, Greg, is the parity in this league. How close these teams really are competitively is what makes this league so entertaining to watch and to be a part of.
And no further updates in terms of goals being scored. And the other 2 games that have an impact on the conference tournament seedings, Huntington and Mount Vernon Nazarene 0-0. Taylor maintains a 1-goal lead against Grace. Bending ball in, sitting back post, and just could not keep it on target. Would not have mattered. Offside flag went up against Gerald Ramirez.
Kuroda again, just an absolute menace there in his wing position. He's been a menace all night long and just plays a beautiful ball into the box. Just cannot connect on the far post.
How about that blast that is steered to the right, and then Ocha Nelius over to track it back down.
This is just Marian saying, we are not letting off the gas just yet.
That's Marquez has got to be careful there, yep. And we'll stop the clock, and we'll see what card he's going to be shown here. It's going to be yellow. And basically you're seeing, hey, you're seeing the conversation that's saying he was not the last defender.
Right.
There were other defenders back. If he's the last defender, that's a red because he was not. He's just going to be guilty of the foul. And again, that's intentionally giving a foul knowing you're beaten.
Yep, absolutely.
But there are other defenders back. So it is a yellow outside of the box. As the scenario goes for Marian, that could have been a whole lot worse.
Absolutely. And Marquez is lucky, too, because had those last defenders not been there, like you said, Greg, he could have easily gotten a red card for, you know, interfering with a goal-scoring opportunity, being that last defender and taking the player out. So could have easily been a red card had the tables turned the other way.
The old dog show, is like to say, the denial of the goal-scoring opportunity.
Yep.
But it is a set piece here, and again, if you hit this one, you have a flicker of hope. Make it a 2-goal game with 13 minutes to play. This is Hoppy that had the ball headed in. That doesn't clear the wall, and the wall then, bit of a rough touch by Marquez, but no damage done. He is kind of grimacing like his hand got hit. He's kind of gripping his hand or his wrist behind the plate.
Well, and again, Greg, that's the second time tonight we've seen Marquez hit the ball. Now, this does take a deflection. It takes a bad hop as he tries to control it. Trying to see if his hand gets hit somewhere or if he just jammed it as he was going to deflect it. But either way, that's the second time tonight that we've seen him not able to control the ball off a set piece, and he's lucky there that St. Francis couldn't capitalize like they did earlier.
In for the Cougars, number 14.
Fernando Bonfim is in for St. Francis. Senior from Brazil. Knights get there first. Almeida called for the foul. It's the second time he's been whistled for a foul. Just kind of spun the St. Francis player. And he's sitting on a yellow. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, you can hear the players on the bench saying, you got to be careful. You can hear him yelling, be careful, because he is sitting on that yellow card.
Sure, St. Francis can't take too much time over this, and promptly finding a teammate. Good looking crosshair, and second time around they get it.
Yeah.
Give the goal to St. Francis, and all of a sudden now this is a 2-goal game.
Yeah, and St. Francis has kept up the pressure the entire second half. And great job staying with the ball, too. Great settle here. Just a miss hit. Just gets a touch to it. Miss hit here, stays with it, gets it onto his left and punches it home. Nobody there for Marian to knock it out. And like you said, Greg, a little flicker of hope there. 2-goal match.
Heine Norbold gets the goal. Norbold gets his first goal of the season. So this one at 5-3. Sometimes when it gets turned off, it is tough to turn it back on. And again, if you're St. Francis, and this is the team you're going to play in 6 days, all of a sudden you're infused with a little more confidence at this point.
Yep, absolutely. And just like I said, they've turned up the pressure here in the latter half of this second half, and it's showing. Absolutely, they've put 2 goals in here pretty quick.
This one not exactly done just yet. By the way, if this were to somehow finish as a draw, would not affect the overall league standings. Both teams would be kind of slotted in that 3 and 6 matchup that we're looking at here.
And if it were to end in a draw, you would see St. Francis playing with a lot more confidence going into next week's rematch.
They would get on the bus like they stole something.
Absolutely.
Good turn. Good work along the back line by Marian. And that'll be a foul. Oda, the player that is the guilty party. Westling, the player that was fouled for Marian.
And Westling, we haven't said his name a ton here tonight, but he is another player for the Marian Knights that has really been all over the pitch tonight, creating opportunities, good in possession for Marian, moving the ball forward here tonight.
Last year, St. Francis went 8-9-2. They reached the conference quarterfinals, but that was the end of their season. They will get to host a round. They know that regardless of how this one plays out there. Eagles getting a home match on Tuesday. Chipped forward and flag again goes up.
That was close, Greg. That was so close. A beautiful ball played. Just did not get his. Yes. Just as the ball was played, he was off. Good call there by the line judge. Those football lines help.
That is the 4th time the offside flag has gone up against the Knights in tonight's matchup. Foul whistled against Marian. And we'll stop the clock for the toe poke delay. I want to thank Jordan Shue, Kyle Donlin, Jason Porter, Aaron Van Wolde, and Jason Thompson. Our hardy crew for tonight's match.
Our crew has done a phenomenal job here tonight, Rick.
Route 1 ball to get this to the edge of the 18. As the mist continues. Ball goes all the way through. And that will be a foul against Jelani. So the battle at the edge of the 18.
Now Ramirez did a great job getting his body in the way there. Gets the step in, gets the ball away, just took a shot.
Loves the sportsmanship there. Jelani comes over and offers his hand. Ramirez immediately takes it, pats him on the back, Everybody understands. Not meant to be a foul there. Takes a touch, and great job by the defender. Just get in the way.
Yeah, really good job boxing out the attacker, giving Marquez an opportunity to come off his line to collect.
That is Louis Honeyford that was the defender that over to make the play. Junior from Cheltenham in England. Not enough in it. All the way through. Marquez wisely will wait until the absolute last minute.
Yeah, and good communication there by his defenders, calling everybody else off.
Good find to try to get Ramirez, just couldn't maintain the touch. Similar issues now for St. Francis. I want to thank our friends at Spot. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark as a leading third-party logistics company in North America. Spot gives you the tools to tackle industry challenges for our partners here. Initiative, drive, and teamwork form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Visit spotinc.com/careers for more information today. Spot is proud to partner with Marian University.
That ball took a slight deflection there off the Marian defender.
Costa. Oda.
And really something that we haven't seen, that we didn't really see in the first half, Greg, is St. Francis doing a much better job keeping possession in their attacking third against this Marian midfield and back line, being able to put some passes together.
And this is the most that Marian has scored in a league match this year. Their high water mark for goals was 6 against Georgetown on August the 27th. In the 3 matches we have televised this year on ISC, 13 goals have been scored. So Mitch Huppert, I want you to write this down. 13 goals have been scored the 3 times our cameras have been here for the men's soccer team. We'll look forward to doing a full campaign of men's soccer next year on the ISC Sports Network. We'll flick forward, and it will be a throw coming for Marian.
And I'm going to write it down, too. I was here for all 3. Just going to throw that out there, Greg.
Fair point. Player down for Marian. I believe that's Foslin, Grant, or Nunez that is player down. It's Grant. That may be it for Grant regardless. Yep. V-House will come on to replace him.
And for the Knights, number 29, Sam V-House.
Yeah, great match for Foslin Grant.
Got 1 in the first half. And scores remain the same, and the matches that matter. Goal is between Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and Huntington. 1-0 Taylor leading Grace. 50-50 ball, and Marian wins it. This was 5-1 not that long ago. Yeah. So a little bit nervy at the end. Marian has been dominant tonight, but St. Francis again can leave with some good feelings about the end of this one. Knowing that, again, it's looking more likely that these 2 teams will do the immediate turn and face each other early next week.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be, if it does stand, Greg, it is going to be a fantastic rematch, especially knowing what's on the line.
Left-footed shot takes a turn and For a moment, Marquez had to have his heart in his throat because he was going towards the other post, and then all of a sudden the ball takes a change of direction. It will be a corner.
And when you say that was a change of direction, that thing changed real quick, and Marquez was caught as just looking back because his body was going one way and that ball was going right towards the corner.
Norbo sends it in. Marian gets there first. Again, looking back post, good service. Change of direction, not cleared. Waymeyer knows that he missed an opportunity.
And here late, Greg, we've seen a few opportunities now that St. Francis has missed where they could have equalized this match. They've really had 2 or 3 solid chances here late.
Approaching 2 minutes left to go on this one. Foul will be called against Marian. Well, you see the most important number on your screen. Shots 11-10 in favor of St. Francis. Shots on goal 7 for Marian, 4 for St. Francis. Now 8 fouls against the Knights, 4 against St. Francis. Offside flags going up 4 times, all against Marian. 3 corners in the match, 2 of those belonging to the Cougars.
That number is still shocking to me, how low it has been on the corner side.
Marquez can, again, shave a few seconds off of that. Parodi, the attacking player, kind of hanging around the 18 for St. Francis. You're starting to see the form that St. Francis used to win 5 league matches.
Right.
Down to 60 seconds left to go. And this one sails up and over the ball from Walter.
Another great shot from distance there for St. Francis. But like you said, Greg, here late in this match, we have seen what St. Francis has done to get those 5 wins in league play. Unfortunately, it wasn't there in the first half for them, and Marian took full advantage.
Flicked forward. And again, frankly, just anything away from your net at this stage is more than good enough. Marian will get the win tonight. They'll get the 3 points, but again, with more wins than losses or draws in the league, they will end up finishing 6th in the league table. Just kind of given the other results of the evening. You hear the countdown, one last go for glory, but nothing comes of it. 8 goals in the match. 5 of them belong to the home side. Marian wins it 5-3. Brant, your final thoughts on this one?
Fantastic match. The intensity that Marian played with. Great senior night. Impressive win. Great things looking forward for both squads as they head into Crossroads League tournament play. It's going to be a fun rematch up in Fort Wayne next week. Best of luck to both squads. And Marian really just came out ready to play. Great intensity. A lot of entertaining soccer.
The Grayson-Taylor match has not gone final yet. But again, if Taylor hangs on, these 2 teams will see each other 6 days from now. Congratulations, James Jenkins and company, for the win this evening. For Brant McCoskey and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Nunez a brace and much more than that for Marian. They'd score 4 times in the first half. They tackle it on for good measure in half number 2. It all adds up to a 5-3 win tonight. Thanks for joining us for Marian Soccer. You've been watching on ISC.